All right, Leonidas, this is our podcast. You don't have to do much except for be here. And that's all you have to do. I know you're listening. Took a minute to actually get this out the box, because right when I thought of the idea, a million things flew into my life, and then I started thinking about it, and then I bought a podcast microphone, and then I converted half of your closet that you're not even allowed to go in to a little studio. I put a curtain up, a black one that I got from a cheap 5 and dime store next to Ross. And then I brought in a little chair that I had in storage that folds up, and it was originally meant for your piano, but it's still a little too big for you. It's got a cushion. Set it up. Then tested the levels a bit. And then Mom came in and knocked on the door right as I was about to start and said, "What are you doing in Leonidas' closet? Don't do this again. Come on. Get an office. You need a professional space." And then that's ... if this were a cartoon. And then she says, "All right, we're getting you an office. That's it. You need an office. But you could do this all in your office. We'll get you someplace, strip mall, wherever, Caliocho, downtown. You like downtown? Come on, Mike." And then, and then, you know what? Do whatever you want. Just do whatever you want. And then I look at my watch, and as it ticks, every second that talks says to me, "This is your motivation now lost for the day." And then I walk outside, turn off the light, close the door to your room, walk over into my room, hang a left to the bathroom, step on in, look in the mirror, pause, turn around, walk back out, take a right, through the door, with direction, on a mission. And then, as I'm approaching the door, my hand just about to turn it all the way, my wife says, "Where are you going?" And then I ended up here, Lee. I don't know what happened between now and then, but the events leading up to that happened pretty much exactly like that. So now you know a couple things. You know just a little piece of what your parents do in that house that you live in your room, that you play and sleep and be awesome in when you're up here at school. You now have a little piece, maybe your first piece of an idea of what is going on at home while you're not there. Because You're gonna start to wonder that. I think I did. Or maybe that thought never even came to my mind until just right now. And I realized it would be kind of interesting to bring it up and let you in on what nobody let me in on. And see where it goes. You know, like to be an open book to you. That reads slow, so you can't just see all of me by the time you're 2 years old. No, that'll have to trickle out. You'll finally get some of my cool stories and things that I really was doing while you were at school. Maybe when you hit 31. Till then, though, son, time to go to school. I love you. It's raining out there. I know, buddy. You won't get wet. I always will. Neither of us care. But if you do, and then Mom would say to me, I told you so. That's right, buddy. I love you. Let's go. These are the things that my dad taught me. Do 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 do. Hey, buddy. How are you? Looking good back there. Got a clear.
Wow.
That's right. That's what you make me do. Say wow. Every time I see you do something.
Wow.
Wow. That's the best way to say it. And you know what? That's every day with you. Wow. That's a great word. It's a word you don't use as yeah. You don't use it as much when you get to be Dad's age.
Wow.
Yeah. It kind of loses its luster.
Wow.
Exactly. Look at the trees, the road. Look at the speed we're going, the sky, those signs on the street. Look at Mom coming up behind us. She's going to work. All of that says to you, wow. Oh, wow. It's even the small things, like we could open the sunroof and then be able to look outside. There's Mom. There's Mom. Wow. Wow. Very good. You said bye. You said bye at the right time, right place. And you know what I say to that? Wow. Because even though at my age, myself and everybody kind of like myself loses their chance to be amazed by having to see all that stuff that at one point made us say, wow. Just like you, so many times that we just forget to say it anymore because it doesn't make us feel what it used to. And I would think initially that could be kind of a shame. I think that's what most people's answer would be to that. Darn. Look at the way he says wow to those airplanes flying in the sky. I remember when I used to do that. Wish I still did. Darn. But I'd have to say something different. Because if I was still wowing at airplanes in the sky, then I wouldn't have time for you. I wouldn't have time for Mom. I wouldn't have time for much of anything other than slowly going nowhere because of how many times I would have to stop just to get to my car as if I could drive to say wow. How many times do you do it? Too many times to count, and enough times to say, all right, Dad's got you. I pick you up and we go to the car because, well, life is short, as long as it may seem to you right now. And it's great to appreciate all those things that you can't help but not appreciate. But you don't want to get too nostalgic about those times that you remembered so fondly. You'll know what I mean as you grow up and get older and think back to when you used to say, wow. Because although it may feel nice to reminisce or just chat about memories, good times, especially with friends and people that you shared them with, it's also a waste of your time. And as I believe it to be some of the worst conversation you can ever throw down on a table and hope people are going to want to pick it up and start to listen and chat with you. The thing is, they will. Sad thing is, they always will. The sadder thing is, they'll be engaged. And the saddest thing is, they'll want to keep on going all night, kicking back some stories of their own, remembering that other time. But what are you going to do about the time you're living in right now? When you could have said something that made everybody stop, open their mouth and eyes and say, wow. But instead, you've just played out a rerun. Not anywhere near as accurate or as good as the first run. So you've lost a day in your life or a moment in time. Could have been a moment made more. And that's what a lot of our time is spent. Once it gets to being such a routine type of lifestyle, you forget to add in just little twitches and tweaks in every day so that they don't all end the same. And you go to sleep dreaming of plane. And you wake up, repeat again. That happens to people. So many people. And I would recommend, son, that you not let it happen to you. Because to those people, which are a lot of people, they could be doing so much more. They could, but they don't. Now, maybe it's just the way I look at it and think life should be lived hilariously awesome and never serious, even when it's supposed to be, because those are the times where the wow should be. Anyhow, son, you're here at school, and I will miss you throughout the day and get you as it begins to turn over into night. I will not forget you. I will only plan to do more stuff when we get off to wow you. Which could be going to the grocery store because it doesn't take too much. Love you, son. Let's go to school. Buddy, we're coming. Come on. Come on. I know. We're going down to walk James. Going down to walk James. Oh, there we go. You know, times can be tough sometimes, son. But it's the things that my dad taught me. All the stuff that my dad taught me. Episode 3. It's all right, Lee. It's okay. We're almost out of this elevator. Times are tough. I understand. So let's cruise on through like no big deal. Oh, we're going around that way. Make a little sound for you here and there. Open the door for you. Morning. There's nothing like the morning sun, especially when you're out before everybody else. You got the sun coming up. You got the not so hot weather. Much more cooler than the rest of the day, that's for sure. And it's a rare piece of silence, or close to it, that no cars on the street, or very little, gives you. It is nice. And then it gets ruined by something like this. James pooping, walking, pooping, and then me, your dad, having to do the right thing. That is, pick it up, even though you don't want it. And if you weren't watching right there, I probably would have found 1,000 excuses not to, or just kept walking. But I gotta set the good example. As you, my son, deserve it. If only you. Sometimes doing the right thing, it feels like more of a hassle than not. Feels like you're wasting your time on something. There you go, a little water. Something that's just beyond us as men, or so you would think, by having to pick up your dog's poop. Where does that put you in the grand scheme or the big picture? You could think that. You could say, am I doing the right thing, or am I doing my dog's design? Did he put me up to this just because he doesn't have hands or opposing thumbs, no fingers to go with it? He can't construct the proper toilet, sewage systems, aqueducts, water, reservoirs, things, inventions. Is that it? So he used another way to get control of us. You could be thinking something like that. I have, believe me. But then you got to think again, and you have to question why it is. Do you really not want to do the right thing? Well, what's up, buddy? What's going on, buddy? What's going on? Why the saddest? Why the saddest? Yeah. We were waiting for Mom. We can go back. Let's go back, okay? As the great James walks and poops again. This time, the second scenario. Just keep on walking. Back to what we were saying. You're questioning yourself on why it is that you don't want to do that. Well, it's a valid question. The answer is because for the greater good of the community that you live in and have to walk in. If you're talking about me, I think about my son, you. Going where the poop and the pee tends to be. Those areas I wouldn't want anybody in my family stepping in somebody else's dog's leftover remains, because somebody just thought it better to keep walking. They got bigger fish to fry in the moment, and this day is theirs. Need no waste time on ours. Which is fair, and I understand. But does it contribute to the greater good of the world that we all have to live in? On that aspect, yes. But then you can think again and say, hold on. If everybody just let their dogs poop where they poop, and then let it sort itself out in the end, wouldn't a change probably happen sooner than later? That may eliminate the hassle that people aren't following through with by replacing it with something a little more efficient, where there's no hassle and you can't help but thank that whatever it is made it possible that everybody follows through and is able to keep the day theirs without ruining the day for everyone else. And if you think about it like that, you could say, well, I'm doing the hard good that most too scared to even think to try. I'm the Rosa Parks of this pooping game, and here I go, sitting at the front. What's gonna happen? You could be that. You could. You could think like that. You can. And if you do, I'll commend you, congratulate you, say I love you. I'll tell you, I'm proud of how you're able to think, see, reason, conduct your mind. And I'll be more than ready to back you up on any of those crazy ideas you'd be using for some quick, easy, rational justification. So, poop be gone, right? Darn right. It's the things that I teach you. It's the things that my dad teaches me. Let's go, we're almost done. Let's walk on in. All right, buddy? I feel you, buddy. Yeah, you're pooped. Me too. Green light, Lee. Let's go and start this show. Do 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 do. Oh, the things that my dad taught me. The things that my dad taught me. Do 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 do. You know what day it is today, Leonidas? I'll tell you. It's Wednesday. Wednesday, the middle of the work week. Technically. It means you're almost there. You could see the weekend once you get over this hump. And right now, we got a little bit to go because it's morning still and the day has just begun. But when we get around lunchtime, noon or 1, then everything's downhill. You can see the end. You can see Friday. In your sights, you got it. It's right there. You can reach out and almost grab it. That's if it were Thursday. You're just, at this point, halfway through Wednesday and coasting smooth, sailing nice, and feeling the breeze at your back. That warm sun touching your face. Not enough to burn, just enough to keep your skin that perfect shade of feeling good. My dad always used to say, "It's hump day, guys. Let's get up. Ready to go to school. Come on, boys. It's Wednesday hump day." As my brother and I, your uncle and your dad, we would shudder because of the connotation of that word, which is a childish thing, and it sadly has stuck with me till today, where I still put 2 and 2 together, and then hearing it from my dad makes me shudder. So, being it Wednesday, I told you about the day. I'll also tell you about the word, so that you can hear the word and know it for what it means before your buddies tell you the other thing it means in grade school slang, where newly found words are spread across the playground like the plague, and everybody catches it. Eventually, everybody knows what a hump is. It is like a speed bump if you were in another state. If you were in another state, say Colorado, and you were driving down that road, the last one to get to our house, notice it has those signs that says, please drive slow. And then maybe 10 feet after that, a yellow sign with black lettering that says, hump. A hump is the little bump that you feel right after that sign. It's to keep us from going as fast as we want and ruining the lives of anybody who got in our way, and in turn, destroying any chance there would be of either of us having a future that would mean more than pretty low. So a hump is something that protects us on the road or annoys us. It will annoy us, but sometimes we have to break our own bad ways for the good of others so that we all can live long and prosper through many, hopefully always going upward in the mobility towards wonderful, better days. A hump is also on a camel, but it's like the same thing. It's just a little bump. So that's what a hump is. And it's Wednesday, hump day. And we were talking about going over the hump. And once you see over the top, that means Friday is coming up. Just got to knock out Thursday. And it's in your reach once you're there. And after that, smooth sailing to the weekend and all the fun to be had with no school, no teachers, no anything other than mom and crazy old dad. Sound good? Love you, son. 'Cause these are the things that I teach my son. The things that my dad taught me. Oh, little Lee. Let's get ready for school, buddy. Here we are. Wednesday. Do 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 do. What's up? Hold on, here, you don't like that? How about this? Hold on. Hold on, buddy, hold on. Let's figure out something else that we do like so we can take our mind of what we don't like, okay? So we're in the elevator right now. I'm down here with you. How about a little drink of water? Agua. Ah, that's good. You want a sip? No? Okay. How about another one for me? Watch this. How did I do that? Ready for this one? Okay, ready? Ready? What the heck? What was that? Okay, let's go. See? Now what do we do? We finished that trip and there was no problem, no time at all. We just got through it, didn't we? That's right. We distracted ourselves with something that was a lot more better than just sitting there in that hot, crummy elevator. And that's a good way to go about things if you're a person looking to get through the boring and the monotonous easier. And I think any sane person would be exactly that person. Cause what is this, Lee? It's things that my dad taught me. You hear those birds? Yeah. Those birds are chirping, is how they say when you hear those noises. Chirps. See the plane up there? Look at the plane. Wow. That's a 747. It makes sounds too. Yeah. When you hear that sound, you will know it's a plane. I'm like you, except for some reason, when I hear that sound, I still think of incoming from my days in the war. But I'm over that, mostly. Just sometimes I hear incoming in my head. Because some things will never leave. They'll stick around. Just how you manage them is how they will play themselves out for the rest of your days. See, I don't hear that plane sound and then want to jump for cover anymore. If I did that, pretty sure I would need some problem-solving help to get me through it. Maybe instead of talking it out, I'd be forced to write it down and go through some new age cognitive processing therapy that would be just the words I needed to get me back to a slice of life that might taste a little closer to normal than the one sour piece I keep having to munch down that tastes like turnips and other stuff of that nature. No, you gotta manage who you are. Can't let anything else manage it. If it does, you're being managed by something that's not even real in terms of a physical, rock solid, concrete thing that's there that you can interact with. No, you're dealing with something that you have full control of, and everything that it does, you are the reason why it does that. If you know that, then you know how powerful you really are and how much control you really have. You're going to be tested a lot in this area of what we're talking about right now. Beginning right now and ending never. Just getting more of a grip on how to do the stuff that you know might come rearing its ugly head 10 years after you finish and have some input about what you did that won't go away. My first memory that I can really point out and say, yeah, I remember when this happened. I think I was around two or maybe a little older, could be three, one of the two. But I was walking across the street with my father and had an ice cream cone in my hand. Beautiful it was. I was the happiest kid crossing the street at that little moment in this big old ice cream filled world. What a lucky guy I was feeling like, till I wasn't, and I dropped that ice cream right in the middle of the road and had to keep on going. Saddened. I don't know what happened after that. No clue. Nothing at all I have in my mind could be strong enough to go all the way back there and relive what may have happened in the couple days that followed, or maybe the couple days that coming up on it, just to see if I could have done anything to avoid it. And the reason is because nothing happened out of the ordinary that would affect me so much in my world that I would be forced to always have a burn in my thoughts of the pain that life can bring. Specific events like the ice cream, which is something that'll happen to you. It definitely will. There's gonna be something that happens where to anybody else won't seem like a big deal. They'll tell you, come on, Lee, stop crying, it's okay. But to you, that was the end of your day. You're done. Chalk this one up as a forget all about it. I'll see you tomorrow. These are kind of learning lessons, and they will help us if we understand how they teach. We must remember this when For instance, you find yourself in Ramadi, Iraq, during the height of the bombing they were doing and the violence that was a way of life in that place. They had just captured Saddam Hussein about 14 months before, and now the third in command, al-Zarqawi, was terrorizing the Anbar province, exactly where I was at, looking for bombs. Now, you come out of that, if you're lucky, in one piece, a different man. A man that sees that plane and hears that sound again. After he's well been home for a long time, at least a year, but still can't help wanting to jump undercover the moment he hears that sound. How do you get past that? You'll hear a lot of different ways. And I'll tell you one thing. The way I got past it, I got over it. And you know how I got over it? I never really let it bother me to begin with. So why did I used to get triggered and have to feel like I had to jump whenever that plane sound came by? Because that was like Pavlov's dog on my body. Something I just needed to untrain right out of me. No more automatic response. And so, here I am. Not jumping for no plane, not responding to anything that makes a sound. Except you, buddy, and that good little face, those good little chuchos. But if it gets a lot worse, you know, some people really have it bad. They do. Some people really have it bad and they, you know, they go absolutely bat poop out their mind. Still the same thing. Traumatic thing is a traumatic thing that you need to get over. If you want to dwell on it, then you're going to live in hell because of it. I love you, son. These are the things I teach my son, the stuff that I teach Little Lee. Episode 5. We're almost home, buddy. Let's get this show on the road. My dad used to say that to me. All right, boys, let's get this show on the road. What are we gonna see? The stuff that my dad taught me. Do 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 do. All right, buddy, we're going over a hump. Ooh, see that? We took it with force. See it? Here's another hump. Took it like a man. You're gonna get that more than you're not in this life, son. People are gonna say how it is they think you should feel. People are crazy. They say, be a man. Don't cry. Toughen up. Don't wimp out. Quit talking so much. You're the strong, silent type. You're a man. Remember? Uh-oh is right, because with that comes great responsibility, great responsibility and
Uh-oh.
I know.
Uh-oh.
You don't have to be. Would you drop? What's up? You don't have to drop. Hold on. I think I see mom. Look at mom right there. Look at mom. She's right there. We'll beep. Beep. It's mom. That's mom. Tell mom have a good day. We love you. And great privilege also, because if you're responsible enough to be a man, a great woman will find you. Your mom's a great woman. And your dad is definitely a man. And strange how these things that make you that, and I'm talking in the type of person that you really are, not the one everybody sees walking down the street. Most men out here are just little boys playing grown up by growing their beards out and finally being able to pick out their own clothes. On their license, it'll say that they're a man. But behind closed doors, or when it really matters, is the only way you can tell the difference. Once you know the difference, the facade is whiffed away, and the truth is out there. Everybody now knows. You're another one of them that couldn't quite hack it. So you went the easy route and just crept through your life softly, trying to do the best, everything that you could do properly without making a noise. Or waking anybody who you might not need to notice. These will be choices you won't know are choices in terms of somebody directing, bless you, where to go. Or do you take course A or B? Choose your own adventure. It's already up in there. The choices, they come at you whenever. They're coming at you now. They're coming at you in ways that you don't even have much control of at this point. And that's why you got parents. Because, for instance, I wouldn't want to hear about you getting beat up by a bunch of losers in school and only to come and get you, find you crying, sobbing, and learn that you never even lifted a finger. You just let it happen and cried more. That would be my fault. That would be my wrongdoing, bringing you to that state. Because right now is on me and Mom to make sure that when you cry and you throw your little fits when you don't get something that you want, or you get a little bit of a pinch, to not allow you to believe you're right. It is the end of the world. Somebody's coming to save you. Because we're not always going to be here to save you. It's rarely the end of the world, if ever. And your chances are going to be much better off if you're looking down the barrel of something loaded. To not cry. Because odds are you're probably not dealing with a man. Just another boy trying to be one with his toys. You slap it away. And you leave. Because you are the man. My little boy, we are here at school again. Fine morning it was. From 5 a.m. early, no 4:30 until now. I bid you the fine farewell, as we say. The stuff that my dad taught me. Oh, the stuff that my dad taught me. Episode 6. Something like that. Let's get ready, buddy. Hey son, it's Monday morning again. Another week has begun. More adventures are on the horizon. Did you drop something? I can't help you with that. I'm way up here in the front, trying to be the captain of this trip to school. I can replace what you're missing with something else. I always got something else. Maybe that'll help. That's a Marine Band Honer. Harmonica. I love that. That's great. That is great. I see you got 2 harmonicas in your hand. Both of those They got some stories behind them. I put them both to some pretty good use. And in their own right, they are legends. Worthy of only you and your lips and that hot air you got to blow away at them. Because beautiful, beautiful. Love those sounds. The harmonica doesn't bother me, son. It bothers a lot of people because anybody can make it sound like noise. But that's the only way it starts to sound like music. First, you gotta bring the noise. And then eventually, it turns into something more than that. Turns into a sound that people want to hear. A sound that makes a feeling come throughout your whole body sometimes. Just when you hit a certain note, the right note. And right, with your singing that you're doing right there, that can really add a lot, if done right, to the music. The sounds from the harmonica and the sweet softness of your voice right there. You could be, if I dare say, the next white Stevie Wonder. Except you're not blind, and you're not black. That's white Stevie Wonder. But you are little, like he started out, and I'm sure you're just as talented, if not more, than he ever was. The only thing that could stop you is your sight. The fact that you could see, I'm sure, is going to hinder your chance to become a household name like he was, because Stevie Wonder, harmonica master, singer of the days, was not able to enjoy the rest of life quite as easy as you are, being able to see what it is life has to give you. Therefore, your distractions will be many. But that's why I leave it up to you to choose your own path, to find out what you love. Once you do, pursue it. Be a legend in your own right. Here's school, baby. I love you. Let's go to it. Do 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 do. The things that my dad taught me. Hey, Leonidas. You want to catch a little shade? Put that up. Keep that sun out of your eyes. Might be a nice thing to do. No? All right. It's your eyes, buddy. There's not much I can do to persuade you otherwise, I don't think. But maybe I can occupy your hands and say, would you like a little drink? Some agua? Would you like some of this? Agua? Good stuff. Uh-oh. There you go. Here. Give me cheers. That's good stuff, huh? Now maybe I can distract you a bit and put that up. No? Okay, all right, buddy. I got it. I don't blame you. If I was inside all day, I'd want the sun in my face too. Ain't nothing wrong with that. You know, as you can see, we're doing our normal walk. Nothing out of the ordinary. Just about that time. And we're taking our time along in it. Because we don't really have much going on after this, except for the end of the day. So you might as well spend the last little bit of the time you got outside in the sun. On our way back, that's where the sun will be shining on, keeping us warm, not too hot. As the sun sets down, about the time we're putting you down is about the time Dad would be wishing he was down. But I still got a couple more hours. We got a tollway zone sign right there on the left, nearing the end of this street. This reason to actually turn around, because we're at the top of it. Why not go back down and look at that palm tree and that nice pre-Leonidas living on this planet, old school 19-inch Zenith or Trinitron, Toshiba maybe, big old box television. I can't believe somebody held on to that for this long. That was in somebody's house up until maybe today, the day before this. That's got to be some sort of world record. I really don't even know if those televisions are gonna do much of anything anymore. I don't even know if things are compatible with them. But I haven't had one of those since my friend Sarah gave me one when I got back out of the army. It was too cheap to buy my own. Yes, sir. And that was 2007. I think that was the last one I owned that I can remember. After that, it was all flat screens all the time. And they got nothing on this walk. Doesn't know how good that picture ever gonna say it is. It's not gonna be as good as what you see right here. If you look up, it's a nice power inverter. something to tell you, don't play monkey bars or Jungle Joe on those wires that's holding on to it. That's the difference between what you see on that television and what you see here. This is the real stuff. This stuff, it has consequences. This is the game of life. And me and you, even James, we all are playing it together. Hopefully, that doesn't change. For some families, it does. Mom's playing it also. She's just not here right now, but this is a little side mission that we're on. You could call it that. It's a little free time that we have to help us in our game. This is a moment where we can definitely gain some experience points to use for leveling up in the days that come after. And we'll, with enough of these little walks and talks, we will be able to master new abilities, learn new spells, and gain more wisdom and definitely strength. Experience, it's a good thing to get. You can't get it through repetition. If you're stuck doing the day-to-day routine, just over and over, same thing, different day, like a t-shirt reads, and everybody can understand they're doing the same thing every day, over and over too. That's nothing that you're gonna get better at the game by doing more. That's just something that'll help you survive and stay where you are for the most part, unless it's something much more challenging, but that would fall into a different category. If you think of yourself, when what you do, son, that doesn't fall in that category at all. And Lord knows it won't. Because that's why you go to daycare and you are able to interact with other kids. You have activities and you have change. Something different and something to do more than just stay at home all day. Just talking with Pops, because this even would get to a point where it would start not being as good as it could be if it were sparsed out a bit, as it is now, where we can really enjoy our time together and not get tired of each another's certain little ways about us that make us who we are. Right now you can smell that air. It's much better than the air inside, isn't it? But a lot hotter, a lot more mercury boiling up around this time of the day, which is a good indication that it's time to get on back. You see the sweat start coming down? That means you're gonna need to replenish your energy soon in this game. And What do you need to do that? In this case, you're always going to need a little more water. That's something we all need. And then you need food, maybe a little banana before bed. Bless you. And we need sleep. Bless you. Without sleep, we're not going to be ourselves come the day after. We're going to be feeling a little weird, looking a little weird, and acting a little weird. That's what happens when you deprive yourself of that. Which is something you'll see, but something you never want to try to do. Nothing is more important than that, even though at times you may think it is. Sleep is the best thing a body can do to live. That much better when it's awake. Excuse us. No. This is Leonidas. Leonidas, yes. Philip is, he's the other guy.
Hello, how are you?
This is young James Bond.
Yeah, very nice.
Whippersnapper he is.
Very nice walk.
Philip's out on a lot of walks every day.
Oh. It's like to walk. Hello?
You say hi?
Which toy do you like? I'll buy a nice toy for you. What do you like? Horse, cat, dog? What do you like?
Well, he likes a little bit of anything cool. Anything cool that a
Soft
little
toys
boy
or-
like. He can do
Yeah,
hard
cars
toys.
and-
Yeah, car. He likes his cars.
I
He
like
loves his
cars.
cars.
Okay. You are which floor?
We're at 412.
412.
Yeah. He loves his cars, don't
Okay,
you?
I'll buy a car for you.
Aw, see that? Look at that.
Love you. Okay, bye.
See, what a nice lady, huh? See, she remembered from before. Just got you confused with Philip, but it happens. You guys kind of look the same with your whole riding around in these cart things. Oops. We'll call that one a day, though. Right, son? As if we were gonna say goodnight. All right, son. It is, what day is it? Tuesday. It's the day after Monday. And it's me and you on our way to school. And there's Mom right there. Look right there. Out to your right. You'll see her. That shiny blue eye. There's Mom, Lee. Mom, have a great day. We love her. Bye, Mom. There's Mom. What was that all about? Mom. Mom. Yeah. Good job. She's out to work. That's right. Mom is out to work. Mm-hmm. Yes, Mom. She's going to work in her snazzy car, in her beautiful outfit and her powerful job way down there in Brickell. And when mom goes there, she is a completely different person than the mom you know. You wouldn't even believe it. She's a cutthroat businesswoman, a lawyer of lawyers. She would make you proud. Every once in a while when I catch her working, I look over and smile. I say, man, that's mom? That is. That is. That's right. She's work mom right now. She's getting into that mode. We all kind of do it if we're in her position. Like your mode is going to be preschool mode. In preschool mode, that begins with you and dad just having a little talk about whatever is going on in our heads. Mainly what I'm thinking about, but I try to bounce it off something that could be relevant to you. What the heck? You know, if it wasn't for this truck, what, uh-oh. Oh, you dropped the huge blow-up fish that you're holding on to? That we wouldn't be able to carry if it wasn't for this truck. Here you go. Uh-oh. No more? All right. You've had enough. I understand. I've been there. I have. More than you would know. Where you just had it. You said, I'm done with this. I can take no more. Life, please stop. Let's move on to something else. And you say, okay. Then sometimes you make a mistake. And you think you might want it back a little bit. What you had. So I'll leave that fish hanging right over you. What do you think of that? You don't know about that? So that's a fish on the top of a seat. Then life can throw curveballs at you like that, where you don't know where that came from. But it's here, so you better figure it out. Because the next time it happens, you want to know what's coming. You want to know what's going to happen. You want to know how it's going to happen. And you want to know how everything's going to end up when it does. Like that fish on the top of the seat. Something there ain't right. Just because you ain't seen it before. To tell you the truth, son, neither have I. I haven't done that before. But I can guess its outcome in a number of ways. Just because I understand all the pieces in play. The fish, the chair, the car. You are the wild card. Outside of that, I know what's going to happen, pretty much. Either it could fall off, it could just stay there, or that's about it. But you add in that human factor. And the human factor says, this fish could change my attitude, my demeanor. It can make this car ride more pleasant, more interesting, more serious, or none of the above, and just you could get very angry at that. That is kind of like a roll of the dice on each one of those being the one that's the factor. Luckily, you actually did one that I didn't even think was possible. You paid it no mind. Now you're just looking out the window, realizing, exactly, that's a stupid fish. And it makes no sense where it's at, so I'm not gonna waste my time looking at it. We're trying to make sense of it. Anyhow, son, we are here. In the morning, it's time for school. Let's, as they say in the middle of America, get her done, buddy. And get her done, I'm sure we will. All right, buddy. Let's get on out of here while the getting is still half decent. Because it's hot as a piece of hot can ever get. We're jam-packed tight in like a couple of sardines stuck in Miami in the middle of the day. With reckless drivers all about, homeless people to the back left, back right, and shopping carts everywhere. Shopping carts on top of the shopping cart man is patiently looking like a Ninja Turtle with that mask on. It says to me, he either wants to do a move and show me his sai, or nunchuck ability. But being that he's green, he's Raphael. Or shit, who's Raphael? Yeah, that's Raphael, right? Shit, let's go. Hold on, buddy. We're cruising for a bruising, and if we're not bruising, well then we're not losing. And if we're not losing, we're good to go. Because if we're good to go, that means we're on our way. And so we are, my friend, my son, my protege. To a point. I want you to be much better than I. Now we're leaving the Publix on Mid-Beach. We went here just to change it up a bit. Change it up just a bit. It looks like we found ourselves gunning it through and dealing with beach traffic yet again, as this is to be expected. Luckily, we know these routes and roads inside and out because old Pops has driven them all up and down more times than I think most, and especially even me. Too much to count. So rather than taking that left on 69th Street, which would have just left us right in the middle of the intersection and hurting, because this truck is big and would just be stuck there blocking the road and being one of the people that's the problem in this Miami universe. So to try to avoid that, we did what we did and are turning left comfortably on 71st Street, which is all right with me. We can go back to the game of life, son. Remember we were talking about that? And this being the definite part of it. Navigation. Navigation and transportation. Those are all key things that you need to learn how to do pretty well and all on your own if you want to succeed in this game. You got to know when to make your move and when to fold. And when to follow and when to lead. You got to know how to do certain things that require skill and experience to master. Like this. Grabbing that chip from way in the back while accelerating and doing it all in a calm and almost curated manner. when you do something like that, you can always give yourself a bonus. A little point here and there. In this case, it would be one of the chips that I grabbed. Of the two that I meant to both head your way, but chips are weird. When you got them in your hand, somehow they just end up in your mouth. It's like a involuntary glitch in our game, and it's no secret either. It's you know, this woman with the large behind just also threw a curveball in our way, as she literally, son, just ran halfway across the street, 2 lanes, made it across the 2 lanes, and then was happy that she could do that. She said, that's enough. Now I'm just going to start walking straight right in front of my lane. As if that was all she needed to do, was just get over the 2, and then third one, the one that we're driving the speed limit, which is enough to barrel right over her and make her think again about celebration and when you should get to doing it or giving up, and how it can be quite a detriment to the person you are and the ability for you to live with the rest of us in this crazy place. Thankfully, son, I had my eye on the prize. And that is, nobody dies today because of me. And so she's able to still walk somehow, carrying that caboose she had that probably, if you think about it, would have maybe saved her and put us in a world of hurt. Thank God for our quick reflexes, son. Let's attribute the chips and the energy and stamina they provided in order for us to reach it to this place that is cruising past Benihana, right by our old place where you were born and spent your first it was 4 to 6 months, I say, maybe more. Good times by the bay. I don't know if you'll remember them, but I have plenty of pictures and videos to make sure there's proof that you were there too, not just me and mom having a heck of a time. We're back to where we began right now. As you can see to the left, there's your daycare, and you can get back to thinking about the game we're in. And remember, transportation, movement, it's a key part of being able to succeed in this game. You can't just stay stagnant. If you do that, that means you're beyond repair in some form or another. You're broken and are just living through the easiest code that allows a person to find a reason to get up in the morning and finish off another day. A lot of folk can do that. A lot of folk don't know transportation. A lot of folk, once they get in a comfortable place, especially now with the delivery and how everything can be gotten for you easier than you getting it yourself. Well, they are probably never even gonna be seen again, unless it's online or in some sort of virtual place that, I don't know, celebrates these kind of folk, which would be a game within a game. And that is a game I'm not going to recommend you start playing. Because this space right here is what counts. It is all that counts. Don't let anybody tell you different. If those people aren't able to move on their own, get somewhere at least once a day, then they are not the ones you should be talking to. You can learn from them by looking at them. You can interact with them, but do not befriend them, as they will bring you down. They are dead ends. They are not what you are supposed to be. They're not why we are here. But Facebook, if that's still around, may try to tell you otherwise. Don't believe the lies. Notice, we don't have anybody telling us where to go here. It's kind of like a cheat code. If you have a voice telling us when to turn left and right, like when you hear in Mom's car, that's a way to get to the end, but not gain anything along that way. And every moment in life, you always want to try to be better than you were, even if just a little bit, before you left. And it may not seem it, but in this drive that we're taking, it'll give me and you a little more experience than if we were just to follow the Google or the Apple, and wherever the voice says we go. I believe that actually makes us dumber than what we were. Here you go, sir. Here you go. Yeah, good, happy guy. We want to always be smarter, right? Two smart guys sharing a chip. Yes, sir. We're almost home. I bet you even know where to go now. It wouldn't surprise me if you didn't. Should I let you drive? Wouldn't that be something? I hate driving, son. And any sane man in my position, I think, would feel the same. There's nothing fun about it, except for that you're moving, not just sitting. But there's so many better ways to be doing this, as I know, that I would rather be doing. But none of those include you. So when I have to do it, I make sure to do it the best possible way I can figure out. And if you noticed, it's not just listening to the radio and letting some DJ raise my kid. That's not what I want. That's not what you need. You need something of substance. I'm not saying I'm by any means smartest guy, best dad, sharpest tack, or brightest light out there. Not by any means, but I am your father, and I do want what's best for you. And if I gotta pull over, you really are in need of some assistance in that choking over there? Okay, you're good. I would have, in a heartbeat. But from us talking, we both can leave the car better than we sat down in it. And hopefully, yes sir, almost home. I hear you. Oh, well, what else? I know. We gotta unload all these groceries that we got too. That's always a pain in the butt. But there could be worse pains in the butt that I could think of that I would much rather not go through. So this at least has something good at the end. And it sounds like P. Chip. Wonder, I gotta take this around. Do I gotta take this around back, or can I put it around front? I'll get the cart. See this? This is the hard good that I'm doing. I would rather just lug all this stuff up on my own, carrying you in one arm and sweat the whole way through it, but be proud in the end that I didn't have to stop, get out of the car, reverse it, pull it forward, do a 15-point turn, repeat, get a cart, go through a door, get back out, all this, leave you in the car eating chips, loving life. Me, not. But I will. F it, right? All right, son. Give me a second. Uno momento, por favor. So I can do this to you. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Hey, it's Big Lee. Look at that. What is this? It's a chip. What do we like to do? Eat a bit and a little bit more of them. The chips are so good. Isn't that right, little Lee? Do. Chip head. All right, son. It is. You know what day it is? Do you know? Close. It's Tuesday. No, Wednesday. What's this? You got your fish? There you go. Nothing like a fish in the morning to make you feel special. Isn't that right? That's right. Are you biting it? I don't blame you. You could pop it if you want. It only costs $1.25. I know, it's pretty good. We can buy 100 of those, and they would last a lifetime. Probably last 10 lifetimes. Except if we had 100, we wouldn't treat it just as if we only had one. We would treat it in a way that it's much more expendable. Yeah. I'd be biting one too just because. We'd have 98 more left. So it'd be all good. Oh, the fish? Yeah. Somebody drop that. Let's put it up there like we did yesterday. Now we got that fish looking down at you. And he's still alive. Yeah, that's right. Still alive. We got Mom right behind us. She's heading off to work. I hear you. Yeah, but if we had all that, we wouldn't take it to be anything as special as what it is now. It would just be a hunk of junk. But right now, it's still a piece of junk, but it means something to us because you like it. So therefore, we take care of it and we treat it like it's one of the in crowd with the rest of the toys that we got. Until it isn't. We're out of here pretty early today. Actually, I guess about, yeah, around the same time. I was up before you. I don't know if you knew that. But that breakfast I made you, that didn't come from being up when you start crying. No, it took a lot longer. Sometimes I can't sleep. Just like you. It happens to us all. And when I can't sleep, I can't do what you do. 'Cause nobody is gonna save me. Nobody's gonna come get me. Nobody's gonna feed me. Nobody's gonna do anything except for say, be quiet, let me sleep. Because I'm an adult, I'm a man, and short of something really bad going on, I'm supposed to be able to handle myself. And so I do. If I find myself tossing and turning, or like today with some pain I had because of a bad pillow situation that I was too lazy to fix before I hit the sack, and that was my own fault. I deal with it. Today, after some tossing and turning, I said, all right, it's after 5, I'm getting up, making Leonidas a great breakfast. Potatoes were on my mind, hash browns was the plan. And hash browns and eggs is what you got. A little bit of Cuban toast too, just to spread out the flavor. We got American eggs, Peruvian potatoes, and Cuban toast. It's a whole spread. Along with some gourmet cheese that, who knows where that's being pumped out of. We'll just say France. Sure, it has a name that sounds like something from there. But I guess what I'm saying is, rather than letting that couple hours that I missed of sleep get to me and bum me out, get me mad, put me in a bad mood, I flipped it so that I could utilize that time to do something good for somebody I love. And that was you. Because I knew that even though I didn't want to be up chopping potatoes and frying eggs and spreading out into little pieces fine French cheese, I imagine, I knew it wouldn't, in the end, I would be glad that I did, as opposed to just doing something that a lot of other people tend to do. Mope about, waste the time just laying on the couch watching TV. Or, who knows, but it's nothing short of anything productive. And something that you could be proud that you did. So you can think about that when the time comes where it's not time that you want, but it's time that you're given. And it's going to be up to you how you spend it, because time is finite in this big picture, and it goes faster and faster as the days go on. So when I look back, I'd like to know I spent most of mine doing something worth a darn. And this morning, would have been one of those times. Yes, sir. We're at school. Let's get on out of here and do it. All right, Lee. Good to see you. This is what I missed. I really did. You. Without you, the day just doesn't make as much sense. Not as much sense as it should. Once you're in it, boy, my eyes open up. I can see everything so much clearer, so much better. You're the light in my life. You brighten up all those dark paths that I forget were even there. Because the muck of all this other stuff living around us, it makes it hard to be able to see through. You find yourself moving slow, just at a wrong rate and a pace that shouldn't be. But I'm in a field now when you're here. I can feel the blades of grass cool beneath my feet. And you make me want to run. Run anywhere. because anywhere is better than back there. So, we're midway through the week. We talked about this before. Wednesday. You got 2 more days. Then you're free. From who knows what really goes on in those daycares. But I assume it's good. But hold on, I'm sorry. What's that? You see that guy beeping behind me? You can't really look, but this guy's really turning it on, the horn. And I don't see anything going on that would make that necessary for him to do. He doesn't know that we're sitting at a red light. And we got about 23 seconds more to do that. I think he just sees a chance to make notice of himself. So he does his little own outburst, uncreative in every possible way, to let the world know, hear my horn, hear me, just continue to be me, a bore. You see those pots in the middle of the median there, full of those flowers, son? That's something you don't see every day. That's specific to this town that we're in right now, North Bay Island. They go a little extra to put out the greenery and make people feel a little better when driving down the road, as opposed to just the normal boring median with blank space on there for the riffraff to take it over and panhandle, or the crazies in a rush to use it as a speed bump that may or may not cause thousands of dollars of damage to that luxury automobile they are using to roll over it in their illegal U-turn. That's gonna save them nothing but the chance to not look like an idiot when it's done. We got Pelican Harbor Marina here on the right, and that was the first place, if you remember, where I went out and jet surfed on your Uncle Justice's surfboard. It was while I was waiting for mine to come in, and figured we'd walk down here, me, your mom, and you, and I'd take him up on his offer to give it a shot. I'd never seen one of these go in the water before, and I was kind of intimidated. So when I got there, I was glad that you guys were all there with me, because I'd never even been in that bay before. Up to that point, I figured there were sharks and sea monsters waiting to swallow me whole if I had dipped a toe in there at the wrong time or the wrong place. At the very least, I thought, I'm glad that my family is going to be around to see me off. But it turned out There was no sea monsters in there. There was nothing other than me getting stuck out in there. Yes, sir. Stuck out way out by doing a complete beginner move with my brother's jet surf and flooding the gas tank. Or flooding the whole engine. Flooding something. Either way. Stranding myself out there about 100 yards, which is, it's like a football field. And with nothing else but my ability to doggy paddle and thankfully hold on to a dead board while doing it until I got to the place where you could walk and I could slowly drag it back in. That was my first time jet surfing, but it was a lot more than that. What it was overcoming so many different thoughts in my head that were wrong about the bay and the life in it, the danger that going inside the water would carry, and even the odds I thought that were not in my favor of ever coming back alive that afternoon. All of that got swept to the side when I was out there swimming all by myself 100 yards out in previously what I thought would have been prime sea monster territory, hungry sea monster territory. All just happy that I would have been easy pickings. None of that turned out to be true. Nothing, son, you know? Not even a fish touched me. Can you believe that? I always think if I'm in a lake even, or sometimes just a pool that doesn't have clear enough water, no chlorine in it, I figure fish are down there biting at my feet, swimming right below me, also trying to bite me. Take little chunks out, just a bite at a time, until I get out of the water and realize I'm a skeleton from waist down. That never happened either. I'm not 100% sure it can happen still, but I'm not going to test it and stay in the water for long enough to find out. So even though that is still on the could happen list for me in bodies of water, what's on the not gonna happen list is sea monsters eating me the moment I get in, because that's just foolish thinking. Brought upon by, it was brought upon by just being a knucklehead. Yes, sir. That's a lot of traffic. So, what I want you to take from this is that things aren't always what they seem. And what they seem can be so many different things that you make up in your mind just because your mind can play tricks on you and has ways of steering you into crazy ways of thinking, crazy ways of acting, and crazy ways of doing that are crazy because they're so far past normal, only someone the same would think that they're right. But it happens to us all until we figure out the truth. Generally, that's from seeing for ourselves. And you realize when you do something like that, that even if the idea you had about something turns out like hold on, let me scratch that. I misworded that. Even if no, it turns out that scratch that, son. I'm sorry. How'd I lose the words? When you find yourself in a pickle like that. No, that's not right either. Don't be like me. Because in your life, you're going to run into plenty of things that will leave you standing still when it comes to figuring out the truth about what these things really are. Whatever idea that you may have in your head about something is the first thing I would recommend you start to question if that idea is putting you in a place that says you shouldn't or don't or you can't or you'll get eaten by sea monsters if you go through any further. You need to ask yourself, where did this idea come from about this? Was it out of the clear blue sky? If so, well then, you have no idea at all. You just have some random gibberish that somehow got in your head and stuck. Scratch that and go at it with a clean slate. You'll be happier in the end. A lot of times you'll say, where did this thought about that house being haunted and witches living in there that will eat me if I knock on the door come from? Because that's a random fear to have about a house that just looks a little bit run down and nobody has mowed the lawn in a couple years. And the newspapers have piled up so much that someone is either on a long vacation or doesn't like to open the front door. How did the idea of witches come to play? Little Jimmy told you that? Well, you got to think about little Jimmy. What does little Jimmy know about much of anything, let alone demographics, witchcraft, cannibalism, and real estate? Odds are probably as much as you, which is nothing. So all little Jimmy is doing is just trying to make a name for himself more than what he really is, and telling a lie to get the word out. Jimmy's got the inside line on the craziest place that ever could be allowed to operate in a big city like Miami. And if you still can't figure it out, just ask your dad. I'll tell you the truth. Shoot you straight up. When you go knocking on that door and you figure out no witch is there and you're not on a plate about ready to be served up with a nice body of Chianti, I bet that what really goes on there will probably be a heck of a good time. Because if that house is abandoned and you're able to get inside and you're a young kid, boy, that's a lot of fun. And that'll get your name out there. Jimmy won't have nothing on that. So, to sum it up, you could miss out on a lot in life if you're just taking what you think you know and applying it towards action. Because what you could know is so much more valuable. There are a lot of little Jimmies. You can't trust a one of them. I love you, son. Let's get out of here. Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, Lee. Let's get going. Find ourselves back on the road. Wonder what your thoughts are about that. Driving over Hugh Anderson Boulevard, otherwise known less commonly as US 1, and even less commonly as Biscayne Boulevard. I'm just kidding. Everybody knows it is Biscayne. It's a perfect day out, isn't it? You want to hit the sunroof? You get to see outside, look at that sky. It's huge in this truck, isn't it? They used to call this a Dodge Ram. But yeah, looks pretty cool. Now they just call it a Ram. A Ram. They just dropped the Dodge. Officially. You can do that with the name, though. You can change it. just harder to do once you've been established. Like, for so long, people have known it for just being a Dodge Ram. Yeah, that's a Chevy Cruze or Chevy Volt. One of the two. Either way, to each their own, but in my opinion, it's not nearly nice as the Dodge, or the Ram. Yeah, you know, your dad, he doesn't go by his real name. I haven't gone by that since I realized it was just easier to go through life letting people call me Mike, because Michael's my middle name. You may know me as just Dad. Hopefully soon Dad. No Daddy. Dado's good though. I like Dado. But I'll be interested to know when you figure out how to say my real name. Majeston. That's on my birth certificate. It can confuse people at times, especially when they see my face attached to either Mike or Majeston. I try not to go by Michael, rarely if ever, because that's your grandpa, my dad's name. And I am not a Michael. He is a different version of me, or I am a version of him, but different enough to know that I am not a Michael. And smart enough to know that it's easier to go through life by having people just call me Mike and going by that, because people don't have to think too much when you introduce yourself. And that makes everything that much easier. You want a smooth life, not a life that you have to repeat moments over and over and over with people that will ask the same thing every single time they get the chance to hear you say, "My name is Majeston." And the moment will come again where you'll have to get ready to answer on a, "What kind of name is that?" They'll have like a poop face on that looks like they're constipated, and it's very unbecoming of anybody. But they do it nonetheless. And I got better things to do with my time rather than explain to everybody something that is just unexplainable. Because what is Majeston? Well, that's me. You want me to talk about myself? How about, now you've met a Majeston, judge later, but take the time now just to watch me do as I do, and you could form your own opinion. Your name, Leonidas. It's a long name, very powerful, very awesome. There's nothing to be ashamed of there. And I haven't heard one person say, with a poop face on, "What? What's that name?" No. Gerard Butler in the movie 300 made that a household name. Made that a name amongst all men that know cool movies and how to be a badass, as one that checks both those boxes. You should be proud of that name. And we call you it. But not all the time. Just some of the times. Most of the time, and this is through our own laziness or just having to say your name so many times and being conscious of how much easier it is to say, "Hey, Lee, what are you doing? Unbuckling or unvelcroing your shoe?" I'll have to Velcro that up. But you too, your mom also. Her name's Jimena. She goes by Sime. Don't ask. So, like this truck is like all of us. Just because we're branded with something in the beginning doesn't mean it has to stick. We can change whatever we want about ourselves, including what people call us. And that's something to know. A little bit of names, a little bit of life, a little bit of random facts. All right, we're at school, buddy. Let's get her done, as they say in Cowboy Town. Hey, son, it's a wonderful Sunday, I believe. And I know it's been kind of a blur the past couple. Everybody's had a taste of sickness and had to go through the bout of breaking the routine and screwing up all that was homeo in the stasis that their body so requires. And their circadian rhythm is now, along with mine, just a bit out of whack, but not so bad that it can't just get nudged right into the same place it was prior to this by going to bed a couple hours earlier, let's say tonight. Or if the time presents itself, sneaking in a nap to edge it off and level it all out. Whatever though, it's Sunday, and these are the things that my dad taught me. Oh, you better believe. To you they're free, and to anybody else, they'd stay right there locked up inside me. 'Cause you my baby. So, if you notice, son, yesterday we went and took your Power Wheels red Jeep out. It's not really a Power Wheels. It's got a Chinese generic name knockoff of that, but it's better. Looks exactly like a red Jeep. You love it. It goes vroom vroom. We took it out of the parking spot and that's next to the car and took it down the road. I realized at the end of this run, just by the speed that I had to try to nurse out of this thing, it reminded me of first couple days you came out your mom and were trying to figure out breastfeeding. Yeah, it was just kind of off and on sputtering. Just enough to get to the front door and to have the attendant there graciously hold it for us. As we cruised in, then I picked it up and said, "Is this where you said I could put it? In the mailroom, off to the side? It's late in the day. You and I both know it will do no harm to anybody. Except for my wife if I got to bring it back up in the house in the mood she's in. Remember, a little bout of the sick threw her off kilter. Could have exploded. And you need your juice in your car so we could take it out again. Like maybe today. Or later on that day. Which we ended up doing. So it just seemed practical to post it up there in the side of the mailroom with the outlet where we were given permission from that man who opened the door who works there, to do exactly that. Thanked him, and we got on our way. And then I got a call 20 minutes later saying somebody complained. And I said, was it the Fancy Pants? Now, the Fancy Pants is the gay dude that you just know is that kind of guy. I've said but 2 words to him, but I already knew that was the guy that complained. I knew that. I didn't get an answer yesterday when I asked him again as we walked down. You were in the car, same with everybody else, as we were walking my mom and dad out and mom and James. I said, was it that Fancy Pants limp wrist? He didn't give me a response. I still knew it though. And today when I came down, son, if you don't remember, I said, come on. Give it up. My son deserves to know who messed with his ride. He demands you tell me. And the guy looked at me and I said, was it the Fancy Pants? And he said, yeah. And I said, I freaking knew it. I just wanted to hear it out of your mouth. Because if I didn't, people could doubt what I know. So I take this as the time that I'll remember if I'm ever doubting myself again, even in the smallest amount. So I'll save the hassle and the worry and keep it in my head that a Fancy Pants didn't like to see 1.5-year-old's Hot Wheels plugged into a room bothering nobody. Bothering nobody but him. So what's that say about that Fancy Pants boy? Says that I knew. It says, so will you. But to know why, we'll get into that some other time. It's time to hit the early morning rush at the store. We're the first people here, I think. It's Sunday. Everybody should be at church. I know. So let's park, get out, and get it done. Maybe we'll race around the store a bit. We got these lanes to ourselves. All right, buddy. Little Lee, it's later in the morning on the Sunday. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. We're at US 1/Biscayne, otherwise, beep, 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 otherwise known as what? Atilia Range Boulevard, at least at Northeast 91st Street. That area with the Black Burger King, it's also got that name. So US 1 Biscayne Boulevard and Northeast Atilia Range Boulevard also is what you could call that. No one's ever called it that except me right now, and that includes Atilia Range, because I guarantee to do what you got to do to get your name on a sign up here in Miami is like winning the Medal of Honor. Once you're given it, most of the time, you're not around to take the hand out and relish in all that green that it provides. But that was in the past, and now we're in the present at Northeast 96th Street, which is also Shoreland Boulevard. I don't know if I knew that or not, but I do now. No one's ever called it anything other than Northeast 96th Street, though. And that's including my mom, who's got a way with calling things something from time to time that you would never believe is the right way to reference them. But prove me wrong many a time, and I wouldn't be surprised if once or twice again before she's gone. I'm in no rush, as you can see. This Sunday morning has me in just a chill, tired kind of way, and so following this guy on the slowest scooter imaginable, driving it in fact, the same way that I'm describing the power of the scooter, which is just really sad because this is a really open road at the really rare time in the week where you can actually maybe let loose and have some fun. Ba-ba! Yeah, he didn't. You're having some fun though, right? Letting loose, going ha-ba-ba-ba-ba, da-ba-da-ba-ba-ba, da-ba-da-ba-boo. Mom, we're on our way, me and you. But if you look out the side, if you look out the side, you may see Mama. Do you see Mama walking? Let's see. Keep your... That's not Mama. That's not Mama. No. That woman's much bigger than Mama. Who's that? That's not Mama. No, that's a paisa. He's much skinnier than everybody, including Mama. Well, that's a bush, that's a tree, and that's a lamp. Mama will have a James with her. We're almost here. I know, we're almost here. Keep your eyes peeled, buddy. Peeled as eyes can be. Mama could be hiding and popping out from any one of these little trees. I promise you, little Lee. Do you see Mama? No, she's probably at the apartment. Relaxing. Enjoying her moment free. Let's get up there with her. Because these are the things that my dad taught me. Talking about whatever we see. A little random of this, a little funny of that. Some points here and there about traffic and just spitting it back. Until we're home, sweet home, and able to do what we came out in the first place to. And that was eat some pancakes 'cause it's Sunday, and that's the day pancakes taste the greatest. You better believe I'm gonna drive, Lee. That's why we got in the car. Not to just sit here and lollygag. And since I don't do illicit drugs, I have no need to sit in parking lots, wasting away my life in idle cars as the world passes me by and doesn't even notice I exist. Because only the spoon would call me a friend. And only... Yeah, exactly. Nowadays, it's a lot more real. Because that puddle right there, we're going to make it look big. Go. Ah, got it. I mean, that was like a half-inch puddle. Almost. We're going to get a lot more on the way, though. Anyone we see, that's how we're going to get high. By nailing them like a dope fiend would after he gets the shot from the spoon and finds the vein. But enough of that not so great analogy. Windows down, or let's do it windows up, because then I could hear. Well, we could do something. Well, hold on. Okay, hold on. How about we go this first? No. Hold on. We got to make sure it's not raining. It's raining a lot lately, right? No rain. How do you know? Oh, you're not an idiot. There's no drops of rain. Ah! Of course not. Unless it was just about to start raining. And it teased us and tricked us into thinking it's not going to rain. Okay, windows down. Ready? I'll do the super move. All the way? You know one of the reasons why I got this truck? Because it's got huge windows. Like this is huge. You could jump out there. Fight monsters, right? Or monsters could jump in and fight you. Oh no. You didn't think about it like that, did you? Yes. And what was the outcome if monsters came in to fight you? Do you beat up the monsters? Or do they take over the car and end us up in Timbuktu, out of gas and forgetting how to use our thumb in the way only I would be able to make sense of? Let me condense that down, son. We'd beat up the monsters, right? Because we got me and you. Two tough guys who know what to do. Right?
Yeah.
Our punches and kicks in a fight, they'll land on the bad guys like dynamite. Right? And if anybody thinks when they step to me and my son Lee, that anybody's gonna be somebody who's got some height, I would say mentally, my son Lee, watch this dude flee as me and you, son, show him the key. And then you do a super move on him, right? How does it go? Oh no. Did the monster get you, Lee?
No.
What happened? You were deep into a distant stare, aimed directly at the car wash. You normally see that stare in a man that's really going through something, and instead of a car wash, he uses that ocean and its infinite everything that Horizon blanketing it provides. Are you going through something, son? Because the point is to keep the dead air away and not have to rely on technology to just chop it out for you, because it's technology and tech can do everything today. We try to stay at the ground roots of how talk is supposed to go and flow, and the mind is supposed to think and then put it out in a word or two in its own form of this thing, audible ink. Yeah. And I'm going to be grinding the grit off my incisors for the rest of the hour because of the fact that I just fumbled through a couple words there. Directly at the point where I was talking about being able to do it all on your own and not needing technology, thus eliminating any sort of possibility of a stop, rewind, restart, go again. You got to stick to what you talk, and you got to talk about what you know. And if what you know sometimes doesn't go in the way that it should, because you're the one who knows, go with the flow and understand no perfection is within you, I, them, he, little Lee in the back, distant, staring off into a tree, and my wife too, but she would argue that because that's what lawyers tend to do. And then for hilarity, throw in married to me, the master fantastic, or I fumbled another word. All right, so Lee, you ready for school?
Yes.
It's school picture day. You want to roll the windows up so it doesn't mess your hair up?
No.
For when that glamour shots guy gets in there and rakes it in? Okay. It was kind of a trick question because your hair was as crazy as my hair was at that age. Curly and awesome. And nothing short of a storm full of irons and aerosol hairspray with a chance of LA looks later on in the evening to gel it all up and screw the formation into just another ball of chemicals waiting to touch the torch and be free like Michael Jackson on a 1984 Pepsi commercial. as he was setting the stage. Dance with me now, son, and know that you made the choice right. And I'm trying to trick you into rolling that window up because it messes with the audio. And remember, we're not going high tech, so, well, I think it's going to clean it up for us regardless. I just am a perfectionist for no apparent reason that you could ever find in anything I've ever done, except for everything I care about I never show. That house is for sale, Lee. Right there. You see that house? It's the same color of your shirt. I bet you it cost almost $2 million, too, for that dump. Would you like to live in that house?
Yeah.
You would want to buy that?
Yeah.
Me too. It's probably not $2 million either. You know, it's sitting on this hugely congested, dangerous corner where there's always some action and nothing short of a traffic eyesore. Pretty much every time you're gonna look out that one floor ground level window. But that house, Lee, if it were up to me, I would say, okay, let's get it. Because me and you, I think we would know pretty much 1,000 awesome things to do in that house, right? Like off the top of my head, I would go on the roof with you. Want to climb on the roof? We'll bring a ladder. I'll install one behind the air conditioner. That'll be the same air conditioner. I'll have to put a couple locks on so all those knuckle draggers still in the low income joints surrounding it, or people just bored in the traffic jam, don't huff out all our Freon and end up dead lying in the driveway and causing a pain in our roof climbing should have been days butt. So we'll get a ladder there and we'll lock that too. Because if people go on our roof, then they'll take our shingles. We can't have that. I'll figure out a system. Maybe a shotgun attached to a string that's on the floor, and if you trip over it, boom, there it goes. Another chapter out of Indian in the Cupboard. I shouldn't have been reading in 3rd grade. Thank God I just got the gist of it. But to get back on the future purchase of that house, it would be fun for a while. We would have adventures. We would be the kings of that corner. And I believe you would be the richest boy ever to sell lemonade in his own tax-free, all cash, income every day lemonade stand. That would be like Crystal Light or whatever I find on sale. Or no, actually, we'd make the best lemonade, son. And we'd just hook up the cops for free. Make friends with the city officials. I'll get that taken care of. And anybody who opens their mouth and tries to give lip in another shade that ain't pleasant, Mom will take care of that. Because if I do it, then everything's getting shut down. And then you just take the money. And you'll make lemonade for 1,000 people a day probably who are stuck in that line of traffic. You want to and buy a lot of stuff? You want to do that? I like that idea. It's never been done there. How much you think we'd make? $1,000 a day? Depends how long you can sit there. Because I could stand and cover you for as long as you want. Don't think, though, that would be all going into your account. I'd be taking a 50-50 cut. My idea, buddy. Maybe we'll do that. Lemonade stand, middle of the week sometime when it's just me and you. At that place where nobody's ever done it. You want to do it, Lee? And then we'll make enough money. What do you want to buy?
Chicken.
You want to buy chicken? Okay. Regardless, even if we don't make enough money, I'll cover the chicken purchase. And the hilarity will surely continue with whatever comes after that. So we'll do lemonade stand. Sooner than later. I just got to get this stuff ready. It'll be fun. Or we'll end up in jail. Or something that's given us problems with the IRS. But don't worry, Mom will take care of that. And if it came to buying that house, me and you, yeah, but Mom would never go for any of that because she knows all the stuff we do and all the things more that wouldn't make sense to who we are. We don't need to shade it out that bad. Let's just scribble fun. I love you, Lee. Here we are at school.